Welcome back to the allotment. Another lovely afternoon. Quite humid and muggy actually today. Not particularly sunny, but really quite warm. So it's really given me the opportunity to do a few sort of odd jobs around the place, give everything good water again because it really needs it right now. But of course, I am here for the Allotment Dram and to talk about whiskey. So let's get on with it. Today I've chosen the Jura 18 years old. So this is from the Isle of Jura, and very old distillery actually. 1810 it was founded, originally called Small Isles Distillery, and that was because it sits on the bay in Craighouse, which is the only, it's a village really, it's the only settlement on the Isle of Jura, other than a few houses dotted around here and there. But it's the only village really. So it sits on the bay in Craighouse, and that bay is full of small little islands and rocks and so on. So it really makes it difficult for things like boats or the ferry or whatever to come in. So it was called that until it closed, sort of late 1890s, early 1900s, that sort of time. And then it stayed closed for a very long time, and it wasn't until the 1960s that it actually sort of became the Jura that we sort of know today. It was basically rebuilt, everything sort of renovated. It hadn't been operating for 60 years or so, and it's only really then, subsequently, when White and Mackay took over, that it's really grown into the single malt brand. A very popular one at that. So. Let's get on with it. You can see here the 18 years old, lovely colour there, sort of dark golden, almost a hint of amber in there. And this is because it's actually a mix of, it starts life in the sort of bourbon casks, then it has some red wine cask influence in here as well, which is becoming more common in whiskey, but still relatively hard to find. But and they make a peated and an unpeated spirit at Jura. So what's happened here is that they've actually matured them differently, both for a minimum of 18 years. The unpeated has gone into the American oak and then been finished in the red wine casks, and then the peated has just stayed in the bourbon American white oak casks, ex-bourbon casks. And then what happens? 18 years they get married together to produce the final whiskey that I have in my glass here. So here we are. You can see lovely colour. Let's have a taste. Yeah, wow, that's really it's really rich to start with. There's a lot going on there. There's this lovely sort of dried fruits, toffee, caramel, but there's some sort of darker things like raisins, sultana, as I say, toffee, caramel. But underneath this, there's you get some of this peaty smokiness, but it's quite soft actually. It's quite soft and gentle, and yeah, particularly. Yes, it's more savoury on the palate than it is on the nose actually. The nose is slightly sort of understated, let's say. Let's have another taste. Yeah, the second taste gives you, it's kind of building on these layers. Did a tasting with this very, very recently actually, a bit of work I was doing, and someone described it as like Black Forest Gatto, and it's a lovely thing because there is, the more you taste it, there's a little bit of chocolate, there's this sort of, on top of the raisins and sultanas and so on, there's this lovely sort of dark cherry, there's this sort of bit of cocoa, there's a sort of all wrapped around this sort of lovely sort of underlying smokiness. It's really, really sort of well integrated. And then there's also this slightly, and it happens sometimes in red wine, this slightly sort of bitter tannic thing, but it balances out all these other sort of richer, sweeter notes. So, a lovely whiskey, and quite well priced for an 18-year-old these days. It's what, 80, 85 pounds, something like that in most places. So most 18-year-olds are getting on all over £100 now. So very good, 44%. So you get a reasonable amount for your money here. So that's it. Until next time, it's been great talking to you again, and I'll see you very soon. Cheers.